one-person production. So presumably a lot of you in the room here are creators and you're starting a YouTube channel and you're pretty much flying solo and wearing all of those hats that you need to as a content creator. So we're hoping to really give you some good tips and tools that you can really take away from today and allow you to build your platform, build your empire as a one-person production. So I think we'll just run through pretty quickly and introduce ourselves and what we do and what our channel's all about.
Hi, my name is Dagogo. I run the channel ColdFusion, and I mainly make science and technology documentaries, about 10-15 minutes long.
Hey, my name's Alonzo. I have a comedy channel. I think I'm most known for like dumbest bells and dumbest tweets and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a whole story to that after this, I guess, when we talk about.
Hi, I'm Steph. I run the channel SasEffects, and my channel's like mostly horror, and I do creating monsters and characters and creatures and all that fun stuff.
Hi, my name is Jamie, and together with my beautiful wife Nikki, I run a vlog channel. So we vlog with our family. We pretty much just walk around talking about camera.
And my name's Erin. I've got a channel all about female entrepreneurship and mindset. So I really talk deep into how females can grow their online empire using online strategies. So lots of big jobs here we've got going on. So I mean, do you want to sort of go down the line again and give the audience a better idea of, when we say one-person production, what does that actually look like for you? Do you want to maybe walk them through the stage of how do you get a video from an idea actually up online so we can get a better understanding of all the different things in sequential order that you do them in?
Sure. So I guess for me, we'll start with an idea either by something that's just happened in the news, say artificial intelligence has had a big breakthrough or something, and then it goes from there to the research phase where I go and read up about the topic through journal articles or what experts have said about it. And then through there I end up writing a script, and that's kind of where the creative process starts to come in. So I kind of think about how can I make this story interesting and how can I make it appeal to those who may not otherwise be interested in it and actually show that this has an impact on their lives. And then from there it goes on to the editing stage, so just sequencing and all of that, and then audio editing. Sorry, the voiceover comes before that, I should say. And then after that, then it goes into just editing, and then that's pretty much it, just After Effects and text and all of that.
So just cutting this quickly, how long would you say the entire process takes just for that one video to get up online?
Yeah, so it really depends. I have different topics, but the shortest is probably 3 days, and the longest is two weeks. So because the research phase is quite a week.
Yeah.
Well, my research isn't like that. I'm the other side of the spectrum where I read my comments, what people want to see, and I go from there. Now, sometimes I do see what's trending on Twitter, and I know a lot of people don't really use Twitter, is my understanding, but that's what I do when I bring it to the YouTube forefront. What else do I do? With the editing process, that is the longest. Video would take probably 30 to an hour to record, and then the editing process, because I put instrumentals here. I'm a perfectionist when I edit, so I just edit on the viewer standpoint. If I'm talking too much, because I do see that I do talk too much on the edited version, I cut that because I'm dropping my brain. I'm losing myself, so I'm losing myself, I'm going to lose my subscribers. So I just try to keep it to focus on one point. But the editing could take either 16 hours to 3 days, just to put everything together.
With mine, I sort of do the research on what character is popular at the moment, if it's the new It movie coming out, and so I'm okay, well, Pennywise. And so usually my makeup looks take me 6 to 8 hours to film, just because I use my time and details and everything like that. But unlike everyone, my editing's quite quick because I just fast forward through the whole process because no one wants to watch 6 to 8 hours of someone painting their face. So, I fast forward through that, do the voiceover of what I'm doing, and then put it up that way.
So I guess the way I create videos is a little bit different to everybody else. There has been times where I have sort of tried to plan activities for my vlogs and things like that, and I find that when it comes to vlogging, anything that's a little bit too planned just never works. So basically I'm waking up in the morning and just filming my day-to-day life, but there is a structure to it. I like my vlogs to be quite cinematic. I personally won't watch vlogs that aren't broken up. I'm a little bit like ADD, my attention is all over the place, so I need things to break it up. So I've got a little bit of a strategy where every day I'm just constantly looking out for little creative pieces that I can do within my day. So it's about finding the balance of creativity and reality. Like I find, you know, there's been times where my vlogs were just all creative driven and people sort of like lost touch from the vlog. They didn't really like find it as relatable. And then there's been times where it's just all just vlogging, all vlog, no creativity, and people find that a little bit boring. So I pretty much just found like a structure where every day I look for some cool things where maybe I can do time lapses or maybe I can do creative sequences. I also spend a lot of time, music is a big part of our vlog. We always love introducing our audience to cool new music, and I love editing to different music, so I spend a lot of time on SoundCloud finding new artists that nobody's heard of, and then like emailing them and asking them to collaborate with me. So that's something I'll spend at least maybe like a full day a week just looking for new music.
So I just want to sort of throw it out there because I know a lot of people in this room are probably new creators and they're just getting themselves established online and really trying to find their own sort of flow when it comes to content creation. Do any of you want to sort of say how it was for you when you began? Because obviously these huge sequences and huge productions that we are sort of making here, and there's a lot more involved, but what did that look like for you when you first started your channel? Was it really taking you as long, or do you find that yourself and your channel have evolved over time?
My channel definitely evolved. I started off the grants, and it wasn't planned, but now I find myself getting kind of overwhelmed because I'm taking so many requests and I'm writing down on my whiteboard, and it just makes me like, I don't feel that I'm making everyone happy, but that's one thing you have to understand when you start YouTube. There's no possible way you can make everyone happy. It could be the best project and someone would, of course, hate it no matter what. So just, I think I'm going away from the question.
Basically, what you're saying, so when you sort of first started, because you know, I think we all learn new skills, we all learn and evolve, but when you first started, so for everyone here, like, you know, we don't want to overwhelm anyone with saying like where, you know, you have to create this Steven Spielberg type production, what it sort of looked like in the beginning and how you learn the skills along the way.
If you go back to my channel, I don't recommend you going to my first video, but you would see the difference. Now it's more of a production, not the best production, but you can see things getting put together versus the first one where I just recorded from my phone and boom.
Our channel has definitely evolved. Like just like you were saying, like our videos sucked in the beginning. Like that was so bad. I had like our first ever YouTube video coincidentally went viral. It was our proposal video, and that was the first video I'd ever edited in my life. I was passionate about making a video out of that, so I learned how to make a video on iMovie, and the editing was terrible, but from that video on I realized I love video editing. And so we started making YouTube videos, and then YouTube was just something we did for fun, maybe like once a month, sometimes even like once every 6 weeks. And then I fell so in love with video editing and cinematography, I ended up becoming a music video director, and I worked with everyone from like Macklemore to Tyga, YG, T-Pain, Ty Dolla $ign, like all these big guys, and like really learned how to make like really creative music videos. But then I found I was liking YouTube more than actually shooting music videos, so then I did like a complete reverse and started adding the things that I learned from the music video industry back into my vlogs. And so now my vlogging style is sort of like a mashup of what I learned working in the hip-hop industry or what I've learned as a vlogger, and so it's really taken on a personality of itself from the first videos where they were just like quite boring, to be honest, but the audience actually likes watching the creative journey. They like seeing you start off with videos that aren't very great quality, because that's part of your personality, that's part of your journey. And I feel like the creators that actually fail are the ones who overthink it and start off with amazing videos with no viewership. There's nowhere to grow. And people love the growth as much as they love the video content itself.
I know you actually mentioned there not to go back and watch your old videos, but what I actually find really helpful when I'm starting my journey, and I recommend it to my clients all the time, is actually go back and watch the people that you admire, watch their progression and how they've actually been able to develop and grow and evolve their channels over time. It really is a good eye-opener for yourself as a new creator.
Please don't judge my haircut and fashion sense though.
I didn't do my eyebrows then. What about yourself? Have you got anything?
Yeah, I guess with my channel it kind of like completely changed from what it initially was. Like I started off doing smartphone reviews, and then I kind of found that space was kind of stagnant and smartphones were getting a little boring, so I wanted to kind of switch over to something else. So I kind of started thinking about what could be little known facts about stuff about our world that everyone is affected by but they don't really know. So like, for example, how did Google actually start? Like, what was the story behind that? What was the story behind the first smartphone? Who invented that? And then as I started doing this, I found that like people were really hungry for it because like this wasn't really anywhere. And there's like, it affects us all, but no one really actually asked the question how and why. So when I was doing that, I found that was really engaging with people. So I kind of just kept going from there, and the channel evolved to what it is today. So.
Yeah, I just, with my first videos, like I had a really bad camera. I was very serious in mine though, like because it was about horror, like blood everywhere, and fake blood, just, cut off fingers and everything. So I was so serious with trying to explain what I was doing to make sure that if someone wanted to do a cut off finger, I don't know, that they could create it easily. But everyone was like, oh, you seem very cold in your videos. I was like, oh, I'm going to start putting some more personality in them. So, you will see that I'm so serious and cold. Don't go back in mine either. And then, now I put a bit more personality to it because I'm doing horror. It's something like kind of silly and like fun, so it should be, and that's why, more personality in it.
Awesome. And then sort of to bring it back to the topic of today, so being a one-person production, what do you find are the biggest challenges that you face just, pretty much flying solo? Everything.
Yeah.
How to start something else.
Yeah, I would just say like it's just time consuming. Like obviously with a huge production team and everything like that, everything is done quicker, better, blah blah blah. But then, well, not better necessarily. Like quicker. But I guess we all agree with we want to try and put out the best of ourselves out there and the best quality we can. So unfortunately, that just takes more time when you're by yourself doing everything, making sure the lighting's right, sound's right, music has to be perfect, like you said. Like finding good music can just change the whole video.
Yeah.
And so
Having your own plate of food, like we give love to our projects before we put it out there. And I have to be proud of my own project before I put it out there because I'm not going to be happy when I see it. Comment, you're right, I didn't put it in my all, but I do truly give my all. And my thing is I try to upload one video a week. That's my thing, but I just have to give all.
And how do you sort of overcome then the challenges of, you spoke about perfectionism?
Yeah, I can't trust another editor that really doesn't know my style and give him all that raw footage, or her, all that raw footage. I know what I like. I know what I like to put out there. And,
I guess I'm quite lucky because I'm not really just one person. I've got my wife and we're a really, really good team. Like we both have our strengths. Like she's really good at knowing what's hot at the moment, what's popping. I'm maybe a little bit later on that, but I have my strengths with video editing and stuff like that. But it's definitely hard doing it just us. Like there's only so many hours in the day and there's so many things that we want to do, but we're working on so many different projects. Like we upload 3 times a week and like we're such perfectionists that we're wanting these videos to be like so great. We're wanting the final product to be so great, and it's hard doing it all yourself because there's the business side on the other end of YouTube. So when you're like replying all these emails and trying to do brand deals and things like that, which help you survive and make it a job, like it's very hard doing it all on your own. But it is rewarding as well.
Yeah, that's
the feedback is it pays off, and with the feedback when they tell you, oh, I binge watched your videos, and when they say that, like 8 hours of watching and hearing me is just like, it makes me proud, but it makes me kind of scared too. I can't stand my own voice. I can play back just to read comments, but I have to do it on mute because I just can't do it for 8 hours. That's crazy. So, but the feedback is amazing because when they say they binge watched you, they love your work that you put out. You know, no one else could.
So maybe we'll like sort of go in and go down the line. So what are your best tips and tools then? Do you have any sort of strategy based around, do you batch create? Do you spend all the time, I know you've both got heavy research kind of topics, you're monitoring trends, you've got very in-depth research, you've got a child, you've got your web series, so we've all got these other things that are going on outside of that. Like, what are your best tips for these creators here for actually managing at that time? No, sorry.
Well, something Nikki and I do is we have set days for editing and set days for filming. So we have 4 days a week where we film, and then there's like 3 days a week where I'm like editing, and actually now Nikki started a second channel. Now it's like 5 days a week where we film. So we still struggle with managing that time, but you have to constantly check yourself, because when you're working from home, you don't want home to just be a job. So, I guess we're lucky because we have one another to sort of remind ourselves, like, okay, cool, you've been working a bit too hard today. Let's spend some time to sit down and watch a TV show. But yeah, it is quite hard to find the work-life balance when home is the place where you work.
With mine, I would say that research early on helps me, like finding what's coming out. So like usually I do mine on either like video games or movies or just a horror TV series. And that way if I do the research and get all the props and the supplies that I need to make that character, that helps me so much. Instead of just waking up and being like, I think I'm going to try and do Pennywise from It today. Like, there's just no way. Like, so if I find out what I need and then create the character, it still takes me 6 to 8 hours, but that's just because I'm like still practicing and learning as well. But yeah, that helps me just research and yeah.
So really staying ahead of the game, then always know what's coming up. I think it's really hard to sort of try to find, chase your tail when it comes to content creation. If you're not ahead, you've not got things scheduled, then it's almost very hard to catch up.
If you want to be, in the game in the long run, love what you do.
Yeah,
you have to
definitely.
I've been in it for almost 10 years now, because I love what I do. I know it's a job, but it doesn't feel like work. My inspiration is reading the comments, and they give me the best feedback. They give me true feedback. I mean, if they don't like something, then they'll email me, and if I see a lot of emails based on the same thing, I'm like, okay, I gotta change this. So, yeah, just love what you do.
Passion trumps pressure.
Yes. Don't overwhelm yourself.
I think, that's a really important point to love what you do. But I guess for me, when I'm putting out a video, I guess there's so much work that's gone into it. I'm a perfectionist as well, and I love the idea of creating something it's just an abstract idea, and then you come out with this documentary at the end. But then once you put it out there and hit that upload button, and watching the comments first come in, it's like the best feeling.
I mean, if I was sort of to give any tangible tactics and tools that you could take away about really being able to manage it as a one-person production, I'd almost, agree with absolutely everything you're saying. It's really being ahead of the game, being scheduled, and sure that you're not chasing a trail, but schedule as much as you possibly can and batch create. So do you guys ever, create a whole bunch of videos in one batch and then from there edit them all, or?
I tried to do that once, and my father even really saw in my eyes. I was recording 3 videos back to back, knowing I had to edit them and all that stuff. It was just too much, and it really translated to the video itself. I had a few comments like, Alonzo, you need to go to sleep. I didn't know what's going on, but they didn't know that it was the same day. I just changed my shirt. I feel like here, so I'm just changing my shirt. I'm probably put pillow and stuff in the background so it doesn't look the same. But yeah, I try to do that. It might work for others, but it doesn't work for me.
As a vlogger, it's impossible, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I can't either. Like after 6 to 8 hours, I don't want to put makeup on my face. I want to rip that thing off and just go have a shower. So.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously then it's all going to come down to the type of content you create. If you're sitting down, filming sort of face-to-face talking videos, one of the best things you can do is really to, change your top, make sure you're fresh in each video, because that can get repetitive, but sort of try to do it in chunks there. Do you have any sort of tips or anything?
Or for batch editing, it's impossible.
Okay, so then to sort of flip the switch then, what are the best things about being a one-person production? Obviously, I think the obvious one is that you don't have to answer to anyone else, we've got full creative control, but beyond that.
To be honest, I thought every YouTuber was a one production show until recently. I didn't know. People were saying, yeah, I came up with my editor. I'm like, editor? Editor? You know, I mean, that would...
It's like, what?
Yeah, so it would make my schedule quicker, and I can do a lot of stuff, but I don't think I would be proud, because I'm a perfectionist. I would go back and forth. Like, you have to take this one out, you have to add this instrumental here. I'm losing myself on this one, because it's just too much. He'll probably fire himself.
Yeah, I couldn't trust anyone. And, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I couldn't trust anyone either, especially if they didn't know anything about special effects makeup. They could cut out something crucial, and I was just like, can you not put it back in? No, yeah.
I think I'm a little different to you guys. I'm actually trying to right now look at getting other people, but I'm having the same problem. Like, I can't really trust, like, because the way I sequence things, I know like what I want, like in the actual front of things. So someone coming along and being like, hey, and just like jumping in and screwing everything up. Like,
Yeah, and it's hard to explain to them exactly what's in your head.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can tell them as much as you want, it won't be exactly what's in here.
Yeah,
Like, how you want the video.
I just don't know how they'll find the time, because sometimes my vlogs take me 12 to 14 hours to edit if I actually like really go in and try and be creative with it. And that's with me knowing ahead of time where all the good bits and the boring bits are, because when I'm filming I remember the parts of the day. So like when I'm scrubbing through the edit, I'm like, oh, that part was boring, take that out. Oh, that part was pretty funny, I'll keep that in. But if I had to actually watch all the footage and then go back and do creative stuff, like that would take like days if you didn't know ahead of time. And then the audience would be complaining about how late the videos were. I bet it just cost me way too much money as well, because
So like in terms of scalability then, do you all sort of tend to agree that you won't ever bring in a team? And if you were, what parts of it would you outsource?
I don't think I would. The only thing I probably would bring someone would be a cameraman.
Yeah.
Outside. I mean, my element is in my living room. But if I want it outside, because when I go out, I just don't like, not only do I feel like a tourist, but I lose my momentum or whatever word for it. I'm thinking about angles here and all that stuff in my head. It's just, I'm losing the point of why I'm here. So yeah.
I mean, I might possibly, like the first time I ever worked with a team was on my horror web series, and that was very different to me. It was great, but I don't know if I'm just stubborn, but it was a big change, and I had to accept that, you know, some people wanted it, like put the lights here and everything, and I just wanted to change it to what I wanted. But of course, working with a team, you need to listen to their ideas as well, so it's just all about you. So, you know, that was different. I liked it, but I did like coming home and doing my own things my own way on my own.
I'm definitely open to working with a team. There's certain things that I'm always going to want to do. I'm always going to want to do the actual editing itself. But for my music video days, I love the buzz of working with other creative people and, you know, just bouncing ideas off one another. And I'm terrible with Photoshop. Like, I literally don't know how to use it. And I'm sick of having to look up YouTube tutorials every time I want to just do the smallest thing, like put a title on top of a picture for a thumbnail. So yeah, I would definitely like to one day have somebody to help me with that stuff.
And just going back on what you said about like the buzz and everything like that, do you find it sort of affects your creativity or anything being kind of siloed, like you're working by yourself constantly? Like, is there anything that you can recommend to people who are a one-person production, just to remain positive, to remain creative, and have sort of community kind of element to what they're doing?
Yeah, definitely. Like, try and build a community around you. Try and find, like, water seeks its own level, and that's like, I know that sounds cliche, but it's so true. If you're surrounding yourself with other creative people, with other people who have similar goals, I know it's very, very hard in Melbourne because there's not as many creators as there are in other areas, and maybe there might not be people who are actually doing the same style of videos as you, because there's not a lot of vloggers. So I don't really know a lot of vloggers, but I have a lot of friends who are cinematographers and photographers, so we're constantly talking about creative ideas, and that just sort of really helps to motivate you. Even though you're in slightly different industries, you're still in creative industries, and I think, yeah, just really trying to make friends with other creatives helps, because it's lonely without that.
I definitely agree with that. You know, I thought when I started I was the only horror person out there. Not. But also, once I found, like, the horror market is small, but it's there. And when I found some other horror people, I was like, oh, I'm not weird. You know, I'm not just sitting in a room painting my face like clowns and monsters and all these weird things. And, you know, it is a different type of creative thing, but it's there. And once you're around those other people, you don't feel so alone and weird too.
Yeah, when I first started vlogging, I felt so weird. I hid it from most of my friends for
Yeah,
so
no,
long
I
until they actually found me on YouTube and they're like, dude, you have like all these followers and people watch your videos. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh yeah, I sometimes do that.
Yes. What about you guys? Have you sort of get support and everything to remain upbeat?
You have to separate or find the difference between negative feedback or negative comments and constructive criticism. One time, the commenter was saying, "Can you stop cussing so much?" And the person would probably like, "Oh no, this is my channel." But I really took that into consideration because she just didn't say, "Can you stop cussing?" She said, "I have a baby, he loves your stuff," but you know. So I'm glad I did. I think it's more funnier, or it's funnier with me when I bleep it out. It sounds funny to me, and it's more safe in a way.
Yeah, I agree with the constructive criticism part. Like sometimes some people like do mean the best when they're saying some comments, and like you should take that on board. But then like the people who are just like angry because they just are. So like you don't take that too seriously, and yeah, like just focus on those.
Do you have any sort of support around you, like in your day-to-day life, that you can sort of project any sort of feelings that you've got about being a one-person production or receiving any of these hate comments? Are there any support that you've got?
I guess just like friends and family, I guess, because like I'm in Perth, the most isolated city on planet Earth, so so like there's not much like I'm not getting the creatives, but yeah, like friends and family and like people I know, like that generally helps.
I did my YouTube videos for my family early on, where they knew what I was doing, but they didn't know what I was doing. They heard me in my bedroom just screaming, and they didn't know what I was doing, but and people caught on after the years, and I don't even know where I'm going.
That's right. I mean, just to add to something that Jane was saying before, like reaching out to people that are sort of in similar industries, I think even, don't where your geographical location is, whether it's Perth, and it's quite isolated, no offense, but you can, reach out to people online. I think even reach out to people in Facebook groups or other types of comments, things or pods and things like that. But if you can actually find a support network that is around you, because it can be quite a lonely journey as a one-person creator. So if you've got those people who you can walk that path with, bouncing that creativity off is, a really beneficial thing to do, because if it's all in here, sometimes it can get a little crazy. But I was going to move on and say, what do you think the most important elements of being a successful YouTuber are, in terms of quality versus quantity? Do you find putting out more videos? Because obviously, as a one-person production, really, 5 days a week is hard. I know you do 3 videos a week, but where does your focus go in terms of quality over quantity?
I'm all about quality over quantity. I mean, nothing in this office, because I know you guys put work into. With me, I just wouldn't be proud just to put a video, because people watch back. People watch videos from 7 years ago. I wouldn't be happy with that. They might even unsubscribe if I put something out just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely the same. Like, after putting 6 to 8 hours on painting my face and sitting there not talking and concentrating and looking at myself in the mirror, like, I want it to be good. I'm not just doing that and sitting there without moving for so long to try and be bad. So I'm going to try and make it the best I can. And yeah, I can't do that every day because my face would fall off, but I try to do it the best I can. And then, like you said, like, people watch videos from 7 years ago, and someone might look up, like a mummy character or whatever, and then find it and be like, oh, I want to do that. But if they find it and it's just like a really badly done it, they're going to be like, oh, next. So.
Yeah, for me, I definitely prefer, the quality over quantity. Like, if it wasn't for that, I could vlog every single day and put out a really, really boringly edited video every single day and who knows, maybe I could build my audience and I could, get more views out of it, but I wouldn't feel proud of it. And I think feeling proud of the work you put out is very, very important. That's why in the beginning, when I first started vlogging, I wasn't as passionate about it. I was more passionate about my music video job, and that was sort of like secondary. And then once I realized, like, hey, I can actually combine the two, I started just really becoming passionate about it. And just, I would get a buzz every time I would render that video down and watch how everything looked, and then seeing people talking about how much, like one of the best, like most regular comments we got on our channel is, I love the way you edit, and the editing has actually become part of the personality of the videos, as well as my wife and I's personalities. So I feel like that's something that really, really motivates me.
Yeah. For me, it's definitely quality, because like I can't really put out, because I'm an educational channel, I can't really just put out stuff that's wrong, because it doesn't really work. So yeah, sometimes like the videos
Fake news.
sometimes the videos get shown in like universities and schools and stuff, so it can't be like just bad. So I try to make it as good as I can. I always like strive to be like better, like just each time. So
Yeah, I'd rather put one video out that I really love that takes me 2 weeks than 5 video fillers just because I have to. Because when the feedback comes,
they'll tell you.
yeah, they'll tell you. You're kind of best. Like I said, when I upload, I look forward to the comments, and I just wouldn't even pay attention to those. I can't.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously the comments are a huge thing for you,
Yes.
and is that really what you would say is driving you to stay consistent?
Yes,
Top of
they
mind?
not only give me ideals, but they give me inspiration and motivation to keep on doing.
So sort of for all of you then, back before there even were comments, because I know again a lot of the people in this room maybe are just starting out and they don't have the feedback to sort of feed off. What drove you to stay consistent in the beginning?
When I uploaded my first video, I don't know how it got out. Like I didn't have Facebook, I didn't have Twitter. I don't know how people found me. This was back in 2008. So, but when I got that one comment, as long as I wasn't replying to myself, I was good, because it was this one comment. It kept on commenting. I'm like, oh wow, it's cool. And then it just, I guess he told his friends, or I guess YouTube did something. I don't know what it was, but people found me, and I just loved it since then. Keep on engaging with it.
I'm kind of the same. Like when I first started, like I thought it was pretty crap. Like some people were like, oh, this is really good. Like if you keep going, there's like potential. Because I would just like when I was reviewing phones, I would just like get another phone and then film that, and like phones were potatoes back then. So like I probably wasn't. And it would just be me talking. So like, and I'd kind of like mumble because like I was like didn't know what I was doing. So like some people were like, this is good, but they were still like, I put my own music behind it and did make creative cuts and everything. So people saw like there was something going on with that. So like from there, I kind of knew that I was onto something, so I should just keep going. Like I just enjoyed it and enjoyed getting that little bit of feedback, which kind of snowballed improvements.
Yeah, well, like, what was the question?
So in the beginning, when you weren't sort of feeding off that positive feedback that you were getting from your audience, what was sort of driving you to consistently make videos and put yourself out there?
Okay, so mine was just because I finished my diploma in learning like movie makeup and special effects, and so I was like, okay, well, I live at the Sunshine Coast, so no one wants horror makeup on there just walking along the beach. So I was like, to practice and to get better. I mean, like I'm still learning, I'm still growing my YouTube channel. Like it's not as big as these guys, but I'm still trying as well. And it was to practice for myself. I didn't want to just practice at Halloween time. I wanted to practice these big makeup looks, these monsters and creatures, and I was like, oh, let's put it on YouTube. And that's when I found people that were like, this is really cool, and I was like, you think so? Like, maybe I should keep doing this. And then, the comments, there's good and bad. It just has to go with it, and that's what I had to learn as well, that, when someone leaves a bad comment, sometimes it can be pretty horrible, but you just have to be like, is this helping my makeup, or is this just meaning that I can delete it? And that's what delete and block is for. So, but yeah, constructive criticism as well is great, and it can help you grow and learn and practice and be better.
I think it sort of comes back to being passionate about what you're doing and really genuinely loving what you're doing. Because when we started out, we were just making like some home videos. Me and Nikki were a young couple enjoyed creating like home videos, so we've got them to look back on in the future, and sometimes we'd go back and look at the funny moments in our life. And you know, when I was a kid, I don't have home videos of me. Nikki doesn't even have photos of her when she was a kid. So like it's something important to me, and I feel like even without all the comments, even though our first video went viral, we had no back catalogue of any other videos. So even though everybody watched the proposal video, no one was subscribing. So those first few vlogs, we weren't really getting comments on them, and we were just doing it for fun, like to keep these memories. And like we're so blessed in having these memories. And I know if YouTube would end tomorrow, we would still be making these home videos. And I'm passionate about filming all the time. Like even if it's like we have non-vlog days, I still bring my camera out with me in case I see something interesting, or like sometimes I'm just shooting random B-roll around Melbourne of interesting things, because I'm just passionate about constantly creating videos. So I think that's the most important thing, to not necessarily base it on comments in the beginning or even towards the end. Like if you're like, we all have rough patches on YouTube, or maybe the algorithm changes or something, and all of a sudden you're not getting as many views, and then you have to remind yourself, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I love it. I'm doing this because I'm creating memories that I'm going to have forever, that I'm going to be able to go back and watch these videos myself. And yeah, just remind yourself that you're doing it for you, and the bonus is other people get to enjoy it with you.
Yeah, so it really sounds like what everyone is kind of, leading towards is really having a firm handle on exactly what that personal way is for you, because, the social media environment is always going to change. As a one-person production, things are going to be hard, sometimes things are going to be easy, they're going to be great, they're going to be bad, and it's really, you can always just draw back to the exact reason why you started your channel in the first place, and keep that as your, almost like your North Star as to where you're heading forward on. We're going to open up to some questions soon, because I'm sure everyone here, whether or not it's about being one-person production or anything really to do with YouTube. A couple of things I just did want to touch on before we did that. What are your thoughts or / common responses to people who generally go in the direction of, YouTube's not a real job, or, you're just putting videos online, how can that really take some time? What's your opinion or thoughts on that one?
Tell them to try doing it themselves.
Yes.
So, okay, you go out, you make 3 videos a week,
Yeah.
and they have to be quality as well.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's exactly it. I'm like, if someone's like, why are you painting your face online? And I'm like, well, okay, yeah, it's a little bit weird. Like, I'll say that. But like, you try and do it. You're like, can you? Like, will you sit there for 8 hours and do this and concentrate on something? Like, if it's something that I'm passionate about, yeah, it's not like, it's a bit unusual, but like, it's something that I really love. I really love horror. I really love like changing myself into a character. And so, I love it. Why are you saying something about it? Like, do you have a passion? Like, concentrate on that.
I think that's the problem. A lot of people think if you're doing something you love, you shouldn't get paid for it. But think about Bill Gates. Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world. No one's going to say that Bill Gates did nothing for work, like by creating Windows, but his passion was creating computer programs. That's what he did in his spare time, way before he knew he could get paid for it, or he was going to get paid for it. He was in computer labs, like at his university, like that was his version of party.
Yeah.
I had a regular 9-to-5 job. Actually, it was a bread factory job from 9 to 9, sometimes. But I noticed, I got terminated because I know one of the reasons I kept on break, on our 20-minute break, I would say, hey, I got iron out at home. And I really didn't, I just wanted to upload. But that was my passion, and I got terminated. I said, well, more time on YouTube. But I've been on both sides of the spectrum, so I do know, because I handle all my social media myself, my Facebook, Twitter, and all stuff, which is good for me, because that's why I started to engage with people. But I notice you guys, or people that work a regular job, clock out. We don't clock out. There's 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes you have to put something up, but you have to be proud of it too. But I personally don't clock out.
Yeah, I guess you have to kind of let them know what actually goes behind making videos and how it is working for yourself. Like, you're your own boss, so there's no standard to tell you that you're underperforming. You just have to discipline yourself. And I guess once they see that, they have a little more respect about what it takes to actually do this successfully and keep going and actually have a finished product at the end of it.
Yeah, so really if you are feeling any sort of resistance from anyone, whether it be online or in your personal life, it's really just more of an educational thing as opposed to, being all defensive. It's more just, bringing them into the loop and bringing them into the process of what it actually takes. And I think that's why it's really good. And this discussion panel is all about really showing what goes in behind the scenes for video creation. So having those conversations with the people around you. Again, before we do go into the questions, I really want to go down the line, and we've got so many new creators here. What's the best piece of advice that you can give them for growing a YouTube channel as a one-person production?
I would say really communicate with your audience. Like, make them your friends, make them your family, actually connect with them, because that's what not only builds a community, it's what keeps a community. And we're really passionate about getting to know them. Like, we don't just reply with thanks comments to the comments in our comment section. We'll actually have conversations with people and encourage them to tell them about our day as well. And yeah, building a community is a big part of it. And also stay true to yourself. Don't do videos because you think other people are going to like them, because people can see through that. They don't like that. And there literally is an audience for everything. And that's the great thing. Like, a lot of people think, okay, I'm really boring, my interests are really boring, no one's really going to like what I like. But the great thing about YouTube is there's an audience for everything. And if you stay true to that, you can build that audience and you can, really grow it.
Yeah, I definitely think dedication, hard work, like any job, it's hard work. And that's what, this is a pretty awesome job, but it's still hard work. It's not just like, it's tiring, it's exhausting. And when people are like, oh, it's just YouTube, like, how could you make that a job? But, usually sometimes when people do say comments like that, it's out of jealousy, and it's like, that's fine, you can become a YouTuber too. Like, just put in the hard work and the dedication, and it's like, oh, you're so lucky, and it's like, no.
I think it breaks the back of any creative entrepreneur.
Years, hard work, like the amount of times I've filmed something for like 8 hours, and then it's bad, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can't put that up. Great, that's like a whole worth of it. It's just, it's hard work. You gotta put it in. It's not easy.
Don't get discouraged with the views. All right, you never know. You never know if you start for the views. It's not going to be a long term for you. So, but you never know. If you have a video with 100 views, you never know that one view might take you over the top and spread your video like wildfire. You never know who's looking at your videos. So don't let those low views discourage you.
So remember Justin Bieber.
We need that catalog too. Like, our first video went viral. It didn't result in getting a lot of subscribers until we had another video that popped, and then all of a sudden people went back and watched the old videos.
Yeah, it's the same thing with me. Well, on the different side, because I have that catalog, and then when one of my bells went viral, I think it's number 20 or something, that encouraged them to look at the other 20 and switch from there.
I guess another thing is try and be unique. I guess it sounds a bit weird, but every single one of you is a unique person. So if you let your personality shine through in in some way, then people can actually see that and want to get to know you. And another thing is just be consistent. Don't get discouraged if 1 or 2 videos you put up aren't the greatest. They're not like Steven Spielberg. But then so just keep working at it and you'll get better. And then if you do love what you're doing, then it'll work.
My sort of tip up on that is, we've already spoken about it here today. It's just, it really is remember that North Star and remember why you're doing it, going on everything. There's too many variables to the online space and any of the social media platforms. There's too many things that are going to contribute as to whether or not something works and something doesn't. So don't ever let that discourage you and just keep moving forward. I think that's really important. We're going to open it up to some questions. So, it doesn't have to be obviously about being one person production. I think that's great. If you've got any questions, we'll go from there.
Oh, cool. Okay. No, I'm not standing up. Hey, Alonzo. It's kind of geared towards what you do, because actually I have seen your stuff on Facebook. That's where I'm familiar with you. So my question is, when you're uploading different videos and all that, I understand that it's really important from an algorithm perspective to have it natively, so to upload to Facebook or upload to YouTube.
Right.
And maybe someone ripped your videos and if they did, I'm really sorry, but they were great. So how do you transition between the two? So if you're trying to grow your YouTube platform, how do you encourage people from Facebook, while still having a Facebook video, to go to YouTube or vice versa? Or like, how do you transition between social media and keep an audience consistent while still growing that social media audience?
Well, it's very weird how that happened because YouTube, like I've said before, YouTube will always be my baby. So I treat it like a baby. It's my heart. So, but when Facebook came, I don't understand how Facebook got over here, and I'm like, YouTube's over here. But these are the same people. I think these people just aren't subscribing because they know on Facebook I'm going to release a video. But what I do is you have to understand your platforms and what they bring to the table with Facebook. Facebook has a short attention span. No one's going to look at a 20-minute video on Facebook. But I do put a short version, and then it prompts, you see my URL, because I do know a lot of people rip my videos, and that's all right. It just prompted me to make sure I put my URL on it. And then they go to my YouTube. And then I shout out my Facebook sometimes on my YouTube, and people send me stuff on Twitter, so I give their ad names right there, so they know it's from Twitter, so they go to Twitter, so that's how I balance everything out.
So really remembering like the context of each platform and what your audience are actually doing on each platform. People are on YouTube to be entertained for a long time, whereas they're scrolling on the train or their lunch break on Facebook, so creating content relative to each of those. Awesome. Is there a microphone? Oh, yeah.
Hi. This is a question for Jamie. Hi again. I was just wondering, when you vlog, how do you capture the footage but also be in the moment? Like, how do you not miss out? Like, I find that really hard sometimes.
I find it really hard sometimes too. You basically, look, you sort of know in the moment. Like, I guess if I'm vlogging and I'm like not being creative, it's a lot easier because it's just sort of become habitual to sort of like hold a camera up and sort of like film myself. If I'm trying to be creative, it's a lot harder. So you just, it's something that we've learned to say, okay, we're going to have this moment and then this moment we're going to film, because we don't film everything. We actually film a lot less than most people assume that we do, and you just have to learn to find that balance, because if you're filming everything, it's going to take you out of the moment and you're just not going to be happy. So you just have to learn. It's something I don't feel like I could give you an exact answer. It's just something you learn along the way.
Hi, just over here. My name's Craig. I've just started my YouTube channel up, and I've been trying to balance capturing B-roll and uncopyrighted music. Where do you guys get your stuff, or do you do it yourself?
That's a tough one. As I said, I generally dedicate a day to just looking through SoundCloud. SoundCloud is one of my favorite places to find uncopyrighted music. Well, it's technically, a lot of it is copyrighted, but a lot of up-and-coming artists are happy to work with YouTubers. So I'll maybe send out like 20 emails and hear back from maybe like 4 artists, and they'll say, yeah, sure, you can use my music, that's fine. And then when I upload it to YouTube, I might get a copyright claim, but because I've got a letter from them saying that I can use it and that I can monetize it, then, you know, that's a good workaround. But there's also a lot of websites that are popping up. A great one is epidemicsound.com, and they have a lot of great music, like massive catalogs, all different sort of categories. And I've only just started using them in the last couple of months, and I actually quite like the quality of a lot of their music, because in the past there's been other websites that had just had really terrible selections, but they've actually got some good stuff. And it's like a membership fee, so it's not like, there's sites like Song Freedom where you sometimes have to pay like $50 per song, which is crazy. Whereas this website, you pay, man, I sound like I'm doing a sponsored video right now.
No, I'm with you on that.
But you pay like a membership fee per month, and it's as low as $15 depending on your subscriber rate. So yeah, buy now.
YouTube has a lot of, I think, but I don't
question for all of you. Was there a moment where you thought, okay, I can do this full time, and can you describe that moment? Because I'm at the stage where, okay, this is a really good opportunity for me to grow, but can I sustain this? So I just want to know your perspectives and your experiences with that.
Okay, I think I'll jump on this because it was quite a pinpoint moment. So like, I studied mechanical engineering when I was doing that, and I was working for like about 8 months, and like the YouTube channel was kind of growing at the same time, but then like I was kind of tossing up if I should just work like, the rest of my life in a prison, or if I should like break out and go and do YouTube. But then I made a video called How Big is Google, and then like that kind of went viral and kicked off like something in my mind that was saying like this could be something. I could like, I don't know for sure 100% how it's going to be in the future, but like it's worth a shot. So like I kind of just like took that leap of faith, and yeah, it all worked out.
Are you talking specifically from like a financial perspective, or just when you're like going to move to YouTube full time?
I think so.
So I mean, sort of from the financial side, what I would say is make sure that obviously you're being realistic about how you live, and what's feasible for you to actually live off of and be creative. Being a business coach, I'm always going to recommend this as well. I always reckon have a plan outside of YouTube. YouTube is still an establishment. It's still sort of, as you touched on before, the algorithm can change at any time. So if you're really looking to do this full time, make sure there's something else that is completely under your own control with that. I think that's the safest route to take as sort of an entrepreneurial type of content creator.
I would like I'm not full-time YouTube. I still do work outside that because I'm still growing and doing everything as well. So I think I'm like one of the only ones, but I'm also trying to do that as well. So it's difficult, but enough. It's just time. It's time and the dedication and the hard work. And these guys went through it. They did their hard work and the 9-to-5 jobs, and then it worked for them. But if you're passionate enough about it and you're willing to do your job and then come home and do YouTube and hardly sleep, then, if you want it bad enough, you'll get it.
Yeah.
Hi, okay, so I started my channel a few years ago, and over time, like it never grew, my videos were never I never really was super duper proud of them. I was always like, oh, this is like a good video, like I can watch it, I don't cringe at myself. But my personality just never flourished and never came through. And you could kind of tell that I just wasn't happy, I guess. So now I eventually stopped, and now I'm like, okay, well, I want to do it again. What do I do? I'm like, okay, so I want to start a new channel. How do I keep myself from not just quitting again, even with starting with no views, and I put hours and hours and hours of work into it, and I don't really get a response, because at the start you don't get many views. It's just how it is. So how do you keep going from the beginning when you do get no views and get no responses? How do you know what you're doing is right, and how do you know that it's you as your channel, if that makes sense?
Why weren't you proud of it?
I don't know, I just felt like...
Your energy or something?
Was it your personality? I was going to say, sometimes, for myself, if I'm doing talking bits in my video, I'll sometimes film that a few times, because I'll find that if I've written something down and I say it sounds scripted and my personality is lost. So I'll do it a few times until I finally get chill, and I'm like, hey guys, how you going? And then I'll just have more personality in it and not be like, hey guys, so today, and really quiet everything. The thing with YouTube as well is that, yeah, you can show sad moments and real moments, but you're not being fake, but you amp it up a little bit to have a little bit more energy, because people want to watch that. They want to see that you're in a good mood and everything like that. So yeah, it's scary, and sometimes it's you can be a little bit shy, but try not to think of it as this is going out to the world. Just be like, I'm just talking to a friend. How you going, guys? And then I don't know if this is just that, but maybe to get your real personality out there, you might just take a few times to film it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Maybe you and a friend can start this time, and then you guys can feed off each other's energy.
And
Yeah, it
see
always
what's
helps
trending.
when someone else is in a video. Or even finding the style that works for you. Nikki, my wife, is incredible sitting in front of a camera. Her personality just shines when she's just sitting down with a camera pointed at her and she's doing a beauty video, or just get ready with me video or something like that. Me, I sit in front of a camera and I'm just like, hi guys. But if I'm holding a camera and I'm walking around, I'm was suddenly just myself. So finding what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and finding, what makes you nervous and what doesn't make you nervous definitely helps.
Yeah, I mean, it all is about recognising that everyone went through those growing pains. We all started with the one view and the thing. It is awkward, there's absolutely no denying that, but if you persevere and persevere and persevere, you get to where you want to go yourself internally, you'll evolve and grow. As a content creator, you'll be able to bring your personality out a lot more, but it is about just pushing through those awkward stages. It happens to everyone, so just put yourself out there. So it's that self-awareness of what makes you you. Like, let that shine on the camera as much as possible.
And I also want to say as well that, I've been doing YouTube since 2012, and it's still not full-time. Like, it's, people are like, yeah, it's different for everyone. Someone might be 6 months and be like, full-time, yeah, it's different. And like, sometimes I read comments being like, oh, I've been doing YouTube for 6 months and I'm going to quit now. And I'm like, 6 months? I've been doing such a like, yes, there are lucky ones, but hard work that will become full-time. But, others...
They're the exception, not the rule, so
yeah.
just recognise that. Most people do grind it out and it takes years, but I mean, you get there eventually if you're persistent.
Hello, back to the right. I'm just wondering, do you have anything you do to streamline your process doing it by yourself? Do you leave cameras up or have templates that you use to make things go a bit faster for you?
I'll take this one because I'm probably the system queen, being serial entrepreneur. Yeah, I mean, I really do make sure I use an app called Trello. I'm not sure if anyone knows that. It's a very good app for content creators to actually map out your entire sequence of how you create a video. But for me, it is about being extremely organised and batching a lot of things. So say, for example, I'll sit down and film 6 or 7 videos and have a day where I'm editing and trying to... A lot of people say I've got this amazing schedule, but a schedule is nothing unless you actually stick to it. So it's habitually getting into that routine of sticking to a particular schedule and systemizing as much of the content creation process as possible. But I know you guys, obviously your type of content is a little bit different. So
yeah, like
a different perspective.
I have a room. Like when I moved into my place with my partner, I literally didn't. He works from home as well, and he didn't get to study. I got the spare room, and I was like, nah. So this is my green screen. This is my table. This is my makeup room. All my stuff. Like just fake blood staining table. Like and my lights, camera, and it's so much easier. Like because I used to have to when I lived with housemates, I had to pack it all away. Pack it up again, make sure they were out so I could film in the lounge room because my room was too small. But I did it. You have to do what you have to do.
So figuring out the times that actually take the longest and then trying to get there as much as possible. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Hey, I know a lot of you guys, like all your channels are very different from each other, which is cool to have you guys all up there on the panel. I was just wondering, in terms of the monetization from your videos, how for each one of you, I know it's going to be a lot different for how heavily you have to rely on that. I know maybe someone like Jamie there, you got like more likely to get like a brand deal or something. Where maybe if not ColdFusion, I know that's not your real name, but I don't know. I actually don't know much about your channel, or if you get like any brand endorsements or anything like that. But I know it's going to be a lot different between all of you. So yeah, I was just a bit curious on that.
Really good if we sort of go down the line and so how do we sort of monetize and basically whether or not we're relying on AdSense or on entrepreneurial endeavors or brands. So, I mean, for myself, I've got a business. My YouTube channel is kind of sort of supplementary to that. I'm a business coach who helps female entrepreneurs. Again, that's the sort of advice that I would give a lot of people is to make sure that you're sort of not always recognising on those external opportunities. There's so many different avenues you can go down. If you're a content creator, if you've got a message, you can go down the products, merchandise or anything like that. If you've got anything that you can teach, you can create an online course. So from my perspective, it's use that to grow that community to sort of push it to your own entrepreneurial kind of endeavours. But I don't work a lot with brands because my write books are generally selling my own stuff.
Yeah, for me, like it's I do have brand deals, but like I try to keep that like because I don't know, for some reason like people get a bit iffy once you do sponsorship deals. So like, and with my content as well, people just want to watch the videos. So I try to keep that at a minimum, but I also do have a Patreon so people can donate, and I also sell my own music as well, so like people can buy it and sell other merch as well. So,
Yes, and the merch. Oh yeah, brand deals. Yeah, back to what you were saying. I think I have a few sponsorships, but it's crazy because my supporters, they love when I get sponsored. But what they don't know is I do not decline to much about makeup company. That's when I hit rock bottom. I didn't know that beforehand.
Well, I do YouTube and Twitch. So YouTube don't really favour horror, but you know, it's more like I do my probably more gruesome stuff on Twitch, and then do suitable, still horror, still kind of gross for YouTube, and also, you know, real life.
I thought Twitch was doing
Yeah, no, it's open up to creative now. Yeah, so it's open up to creative. So I do my, you know, people actually watch 8 hours of me putting on makeup and donating and stuff, and I don't know. But I'll take it, thanks.
So could I say, would a lot of you guys rely on your monetization, or is that you really think that?
I think the general theme is that not one person's really mentioned the ads, so no, I think it's having outside that. Yeah. What about you, Jamie? Are you sort of?
Yeah, we use both. We work with brands sometimes. We try not to do it too often because you want to only work with brands that you believe in, because the difference between YouTube and TV is, like Dave Chappelle famously said, you know, like, do I like Pepsi or Coke better? I like Pepsi better because they paid me last.
Yeah.
YouTuber can't do that. Everything you're selling has to be something you believe in, because your fans can call you out straight in the comments and be like, oh wait, that doesn't seem like something you like. So we do turn down a lot, but when a good brand comes along who we believe in, you know, it's great to be able to work with them, and our subscribers support it as well, because like, if your subscribers love you, they love seeing you succeed and you doing well, because if you're able to pay your bills through doing this, then you're able to keep creating content for them.
Yeah, and I think recently had something called Adpocalypse,
Yep.
and a lot of channels hard. Some people couldn't pay their editors and stuff, but that's what I was talking in the beginning.
We'll try to get through these.
That's what I was talking about. But yeah, but that time they're all people that part in there just for the money. So yeah, and we're still here. So.
Exactly. And I got hit pretty hard, I could say that, because of horror. And unfortunately it's under the violence category, even though it is makeup. Yeah, but anyway, it's just, yeah, it sucks, but I still love it. And that's where I'll get my money with my real life job. And, sorry, real life, but, you know, job. No, you know what I mean. Anyway, and Twitch, but I'm still going to do YouTube because I love YouTube. I'm going to keep going through it. It might change, but yeah, I love it.
So diversify your income.
Yes.
So this probably doesn't apply to Jamie so much, and I'm really sorry, Alonzo. I met you and I didn't know who you were, but I thought you were pretty.
Good in the end.
I hope this isn't too personal, but how do you go with partners and the long hours that you work and your commitments, and then your commitments to them? And does it make relationships very difficult? Because I know I've been doing YouTube for 1 month, and my boyfriend doesn't like it very much, because I'm like, I can't do that, baby. I'm editing. You know, I've got to put this post up on Instagram or whatever it is, and like I'm 1 month in, I have 30 subscribers or something. So I can't imagine the pressure you must be under.
Okay, yeah, for me, I did YouTube before I met my partner, and now it's been 3.5 years later, and he took a while to understand why I had to concentrate on this, because this was important to me, but he...
That's commitment right there.
But no, he understands now, because he sees how much I love it, and he helps me with taking photos at the end. Like, if I've created a creature, I could just have latex or something all over my face and I can't see. I'm like, hey, can you take a photo of me? Like, so he'll take professional photos and everything, and more I get him involved in it, if it was nothing to do with him, and he'd be like, look, you're spending more time on this than spending time with me. Now that I've explained why I love it, explained why I need this time, he understands and he lets me have it. And yeah, there's some days where he's like, I want to cuddle, but I'm just like, no, I have makeup on. But yeah, if you just maybe involve him more with, or teach him why you're passionate about this, he'll understand.
It's actually a great relationship test. It shows he loves you, that he still wants to cuddle when you've got horror makeup on.
I'll just say, yeah, on that, like, it's much as you can bring them into the process. So I'm the same with my fiance, he sort of, had his job and everything, but now he does the editing and the photography and stuff like that as well, and we've really been able to grow and evolve this channel together. So I'm not sure like what the position you're in, but if you can make him feel like as a part of the journey, it's the same like with your audience. The more people feel as though they're a part of your journey, the more they'll actually want to support that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, instead of just something like he's, oh no, not now, honey, like I'm doing this is like my whole different thing, like, and then you may just feel like left out, that's all. And it's just like, where's all your time going? I don't know,
Hey guys, sorry I nearly walked into you before, so I've been doing YouTube for 6 years, and just by myself, it's been really hard. And I just wanted to know if you ever thought that there was a moment where you thought, it's too much, I need help, I need to grab someone, just anyone to maybe do the filming for one episode, just, something.
That's why I took a year off. It was some time for me. I wanted, it was just too much. I mean, it wasn't comments. It felt like it was just too much to handle. But I think during that time I rebranded myself and I just gave it my all when I came back. And here I am 6 years after that.
Yeah, I'm the same, like so many times I can't do this. I can't, like it's too much. It's just too much. But then the love for it just keeps me coming back and, spending the hard work. And yeah, like 6 years and it's hard. It is. Like I totally understand it is. But like I've been repeating myself, if you love it enough, you just want to make it happen. Just it works so badly. Like so you just keep going with it and
anyone else got anything to add before we wrap up? No? Awesome, thank you so much. Sir? Yeah, sure, that's the... Or do you want to yell it out? Quick, run! We need a round of applause for this, though. Thank you,
So good at what you do, I love it. So my question, kind of following up with that a little bit. I understand like, it does take time, and it's a real dedication. Like when you're a creator, you're your own marketer, your own business, really. So there's a lot of hats that you wear. So, I just forgot my question. Oh my God. Sorry. At what point, like during your YouTube journey, did you really start to see a spike in your channel? Like I'm a baby YouTuber, I'm new to this, so I get really excited when I get a new subscriber and all that. But it's kind of you wonder at what point. Is it maybe, at what point should I maybe change what I'm doing, or, like when do you see kind of the return on its own? Like when did you start to see, okay, this is starting to take off?
I think it's going to be such a different experience for all of us, and I think that even answering that question wouldn't do it justice, because there's no commonality or trends with how people have succeeded on YouTube. You just have to sort of keep consistently showing up. I mean, if I was going to give you any advice, as long as you're always being authentic to yourself. As I said, used to make sort of health and fitness content. As soon as I started talking about something that I was passionate in, that's when it really grew for me. But it is just about being persistent. You can't bring a whole bunch of YouTubers to say, okay, yeah, this is the reason why they were successful. It was just consistently showing up each and every single day. It can be that one video that is going to get viewed by someone, or it's going to go viral and it's just going to explode from there. So it's holding out without expectation that anything's going to happen, and just consistently showing up as often as you can.
Ditto.
Alrighty, I think that's it. Thank you so much for coming.